Hello, hello, hello. I am Stephanie Nikolic, your host for Success in Stilettos. It is Monday afternoon. How are you, lady loves? I am going to just check in real quick and make sure everybody can see me, hear me. Okay, let's just do a little refresh. You guys should be here with me. Hello, hello. Awesome. Okay, cool. So the chat box is integrated. If you have any questions whatsoever, please do shout me out in the chat box. I'm going to do one little thing here. I'm going to turn Periscope on so we can do a little bit of live scoping action. Here we go. So I want to welcome everybody that's also joining us here from Periscope. Are we on and popping? Okay, awesome. So I'll be checking in from time to time, looking down. I'm not being rude. I just want to make sure if anybody's asking any questions on Periscope that we're definitely responding to them as well. So again, I am Stephanie Nikolic, your host of Success in Stilettos. Many of you know me as the Millionista Mentor, the founder of Success Society, as well as StephanieNikolic.com. And basically what I do is I am a sales funnel success strategist. I help six-figure plus earners, or six figures, moving into six figures plus, that want to really bridge the gap between that 6 and 7 figure mark, create systems and strategies for success through the use of sales funnels, which also includes a lot of automation in business, so that you can enjoy Mai Tais on the beach while building sandcastles. That is my #1 goal for 2016. I believe that everyone is capable of making a 7-figure income with the right strategies and systems in place. So first of all, thank you for taking a little bit of time after your Monday afternoon to be here with me. I'm really committed to the no bull approach to creating success in your business. So if there's anything that you're unclear about, please do chime in, ask in the chat box. I have the chat box here. Hello, Evelyn, and welcome. I'm so happy you're here with us today. Anybody that's here from Periscope, welcome. Tell me who you are and where you're from. I'm tuning in from New York currently. So what I want to talk about today is, what is that #1 thing that is holding you back from accomplishing that level of success that you desire and truly deserve in your business? Now, this may come as a to a lot of you, or maybe you're going to tell me after this Periscope or this live show that you really genuinely don't like me for what I'm telling you. And the truth is, the hard truth is that the #1 thing prohibiting you from the success that you deserve and desire, it's you. That's the #1 piece to the equation. That is the secret sauce. It's you. If you're not currently accomplishing the level of success that you desire and deserve, there's things that are prohibiting you from getting there, and it starts with this, the mindset. It's the #1 thing in accomplishing success. For me personally, yes, I do have an incredibly successful business these days, but that was not always the case. I did struggle significantly in the early stages of starting and growing my first company. This is my second company. And it had a lot to do with myself, my belief in myself, my belief in success, my constant obsession over what my current reality was, which was not what I wanted the vision or the dream or the future of my business to look like. And the one thing in that equation that could have changed anything and did change everything was me. It was that belief. It was that constant thought process of fear, the obsession of fear, of lack, of scarcity, of anxiety. And so there truly is no difference between anybody that's here with me today, that's maybe on the borderline of the success that you desire or deserve and getting to the next step, or maybe you just can't seem to really get the train out of the station and pull the pieces together. And the one thing is what's happening up here. How do you feel about success? How do you feel about money? Are you scared of it? Every time a bill comes in the mail, do you cringe? Are you okay to pay your bills? Are you happy to pay your bills because you feel like it's a sense of relief? If you're tuning in for the first time and you don't know me, I it took me a while to create this type of success. And I'm about 3 months away. My January 2016 is my final get out of debt, my debt-free payment. But I had accumulated well over $100,000 in debt in building this business, because the true reality was that I thought in order to have it all, I had to be and do it all. Again, that was a mindset issue. It was a definite flaw of the mindset. That's the wrong way to think. You know, when you really zone in and focus on what your greatest passions are, what your purpose is in life, what the big dream and the big vision is, and then literally what your greatest strengths and skill set are, like zone in on that. And you start truly operating your life and your business in your zone of genius, the things will start coming to life. The momentum will start growing and flowing, and you won't feel a constant state of resistance in creating a business that you love. You know, and when you're in business, it really is an evolutional process, because there'll be like milestones that you will start reaching. Maybe it's your first 5-figure month that you're aiming for. When you reach that 5-figure month, you then know how it feels, and then you can be committed to getting your first 6-figure month. But it takes a really, really, really strong mind. It takes confidence in yourself, a belief in yourself that whatever happens along the way, it's not enough to rock your boat. And so the thing that I had adapted in my own personal business was in my life too, was a commitment to always be bigger than my problems. It's not that shit doesn't hit the fan as an entrepreneur, right? It's not that things don't come up that you just simply can't understand, but just always commit to being bigger than your problems. You know, always commit today to be better than you were yesterday. To me, that's what defines success. It's not really a dollar amount. It's committing to being better today than you were yesterday. To learning how to shift and tweak when things come up, right? That goes back to being bigger than your problems. But learning how to shift and tweak. It's not the end of the world, absolute catastrophe if something doesn't go right. There's always a silver lining in my business. There's always a lesson to be learned. Maybe it was a bad client, a crappy experience with someone that you worked with. You know, take that and see what can I learn out of this? And fuel that to help you create success in the next step, or maybe to do things differently the next time around. Maybe didn't ask the right questions. Don't let that lead to a flawed mindset. Keep moving forward. The difference between you and the success that you desire is you. That's the biggest part of the equation. It's you. So if you can work every day to being better, being a better in your skill set at whatever it is that you do, that will lead to success, and that will lead to a very, very strong mindset, right? And that's the difference between the most successful people in the world and the ones that are not necessarily thriving, or let's say barely surviving. It is the belief in themselves that no matter what the hell happens in this thing we call business, or this journey we call being an entrepreneur, that they're going to be okay because they believe in themselves. Right? And it's always going to be scary. I can't say that it is. You know, I'm approaching my 3-year mark of being an entrepreneur, fully being an entrepreneur. I left corporate America, oh my gosh, almost 4.5 years ago now. Guess what the good news is? I'm still alive, right? I'm still here, I'm still alive. And in fact, my life is a shit ton more enjoyable than it ever was before, because I control my destiny. Right? Because I control my time, my freedom, and my level of success. And that was the commitment that I made to myself when I left my corporate job. They were slashing my income earnings by 2/3 because I had created a very profitable business in a short amount of time. And I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to do it anymore. It didn't feel good. And so I went out on my own. And again, it wasn't successful right out the gate. It was a struggle. It was a struggle. But I started working professionally, personally and professionally, on myself first, so I could strengthen this, right? And when I started that way, the business started to unfold and unravel, and I started taking a little bit bigger risks, but risks that were going to fuel rewards. And today here I am approaching 3 years as being a full-time entrepreneur. And it's not that it gets any less scary. I actually just had an interview with someone where we talked about taking risks, and that's something that never goes away as an entrepreneur. But you learn through experience, right? And we don't always knock it out of the gate anytime around, even though maybe it seems like that to some people. But we learn and we grow and we evolve and we see the things that are not necessarily supporting our business. So pay attention. Don't be so super committed to something that you're not willing to make a couple of shifts or tweaks in order to get your business to the next stage. And if you're in a space where your income doesn't match your desired income or your vision or your dream for this thing called business, then get help, ask for help. Raise your hand and say, what can I do today? Analyze and commit to where you are stuck. Take responsibility for that so that you can start working on those things today. It takes one step to get out of that space. You don't have to look at the whole journey, the whole staircase, right? You just have to take the first step. And the first step comes from you. It comes from the commitment and the responsibility, taking responsibility. When I was well over $100,000 in debt as an entrepreneur, it didn't feel good, right? But I did that. And I was committed to getting out of that space. I could see that I was capable of achieving success. I just knew that I couldn't get there alone. And I could see the success that I desired, but I didn't know how to get there. And so I asked for help. But I first took responsibility. I said, yep, this is where I am. Yep, nope, nobody stole my credit cards. Yes, I did have to call my mother and ask her for a little loan in order to pay my rent that month. Approaching 30 years old, it wasn't something that felt good, but I did it. I did it because at the end of the day, I did believe that I was capable of achieving success. And so there's no difference between who is sitting on the other end of this Periscope or who is sitting on the other end of the show and me. I just decided to take action, to take responsibility, and to give it my all, and to truly start playing full out. And that when I was in a place that didn't feel good, I was committed to shifting or tweaking in order to get the desired outcome. The other thing was I was finally at the point of saying, I can't do this alone. Doing this alone is what got me into this space. But I'm going to be committed to doing whatever it takes to get out of it. And if that means getting the help that I need to truly succeed, then I'm going to figure out a way. I'm not going to make any excuses anymore. I did this. I'm taking responsibility, but I'm going to get out of it. And I did. And here I am, that was a year and a half ago. And here I am, January 2016, with my get out of debt plan. My debt-free plan will be in full effect. So I'm not saying this to brag, certainly. I'm a real person. I'm saying this because wherever you are, there is a way out of it. You just have to commit to doing the work, man. I busted my ass, and I still do every single day for the bigger picture, And now we're finally at a point in our business where it's really more about working smarter than harder. But man, it took a long time to get there. So decide it is what is that you want. We want to check into the chat box real quickly to see if anybody has questions. Evelyn, welcome. I'm happy that you're here as well. Angelica, thank you for the kind words. We did custom integrate. This is designed by my team, my Millionista Dream team, so I appreciate it. If there's any questions that you guys have in regards to the mindset, something that you're really struggling with and you want to talk about here live today, we have a couple more minutes. I like to keep the shows to about 20 minutes each, but I do definitely want to answer any questions that you have in regards to mindset. If there's something you're stuck on, if you're challenged by something. And let me look, I'm looking in the Periscope to see if there's any questions. I don't see any questions coming in. My biggest steps, as I mentioned earlier, is to, one, take responsibility. Wherever you are right now, it's temporary. Know that. You can change your current circumstances at any time. So you got to first take responsibility, take inventory, take responsibility. Even if there's no money in your bank account, it's okay to own that, okay? Just know where you are. Where's the starting point? And then you can map out the next steps to get out of that point, right? And then start visualizing things in terms of where you want to be. Be specific. Because my mentality used to be that I want to earn enough. What's enough? What's enough for you might not be enough for me, right? So get specific. That was my own fault, that I wasn't specific enough. I just wanted to earn enough. Throw out a number. I want to earn $10,000 a month. Great. I love it. 20, 30, 50, whatever it is. It's all possible when you have a plan. That's the next step, right? You're taking responsibility for where you are first. You're taking inventory. 2, you're looking at where you want to go. Okay? You're starting to act as if. This is a mind mapping tool. I'm actually releasing a product within the next several weeks that will actually take you through a 9-step process to master your mindset. It's extremely important because if you don't have these pieces right first out the gate, you will never achieve the level of success you desire. This is the first part to that massive success, to that beautiful empire that you desire to build. You are the first step, right? Mastering your mindset with clarity, with conviction in order to take the next steps. So we're starting to analyze things in terms of the future me. Not where you are right now. You've already taken responsibility, but where do you want to go from here? Where do you want to go? What's the big vision, the big picture, right? You want to create a 6-figure thriving business. You want to create a 7-figure business. Maybe it has nothing to do with your financial status. Maybe it has everything to do with how many clients you serve, which is a better way to look at it. Or maybe it has to do with personal time freedom. That's something you're just dying. Maybe you only want to work 5 hours a week. Awesome. Let's do it. Let's craft that plan from there in order to how to move into that direction. But if you start thinking and acting as if you're already there, you are naturally moving in the direction of getting there. And it'll become a lot easier. So start with no resistance. Have a no resistance plan, right? I'm not going to let whatever's happened in my life prior to this day right now affect me. I'm always going to commit to being bigger than my problems moving forward. Because I know that if I commit to being bigger than my problems, nothing can stop me. I'm absolutely unstoppable. And then do whatever the hell it takes. That's the attitude you need to have. I don't care what it takes. I am committed to the success that I desire and deserve. I thank you guys all for being here with me today. I am going to Yvette. I have one last question. I'll wrap up. Yvette, thank you for being here. Welcome. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm Stephanie Nicolich, your host of Success in Stilettos, also known as the Millionista Mentor and the founder of StephanieNicolich.com. And Yvette's question is this: how do I get past the fear to take action? You want to know how you get past the fear to take action? You take action. You do one step at a time. You make a plan. If you are uncomfortable, you're in a good space. You should be uncomfortable as an entrepreneur. Every day, it doesn't matter how successful you are, the difference between the most successful people in the world and those that are not, barely surviving, is the ones that don't take action. We all act in spite of our fears. Your number one thing to get past your fear is to take action. Do it. Just do it. Fear is a story. It's a made-up emotion. It's a story that holds us back. The only power that fear has is the power that you choose to give it. If you choose not to feed your fear anymore, you will start moving forward leaps and bounds. Things that felt difficult to do will no longer feel difficult. So whatever's holding you back, do that. Take action, move forward, be committed, and get the results that you need. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, probably, for tuning in here. I'm Stephanie Nicolich, your host of Success in Stilettos. We will meet every Monday and Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll really talk about all things success, strategies, and sales funnels, woohoo, which is my favorite piece of the puzzle. If you want to reach out to me in the meantime, please do come over to my website, stephanienikolich.com. We have some really cool things going. I have a phenomenal Facebook group as well, Female Entrepreneurs Collaborate. Again, that's Female Entrepreneurs Collaborate. And if you have any questions in regards to the show, please do shout out. I answer all of my emails. You can reach me at stephanie@styleyoursuccess.com. I am committed to creating seven-figure business owners. I truly believe that there's no reason why everybody in this world can't be a seven-figure business owner. And that's what I want to create for people. But also through leveraging their time, their freedom, right, and the level of success. Anything is possible when you put your mind to it. So just commit to that. It was a pleasure being here with you today, and I hope you'll continue to join me on this ride of success. Talk to you soon. Bye.